Hey crafty friends, it's Joy here for Honeybee Stamps, and today I created a Halloween card using an unexpected die set. Okay, I'm going to be using the Happy Halloween stamp and coordinating die. Then this is the unexpected die set. This is the Mugs and Kisses dies. This is a Christmas die, but we're going to turn it Halloween. Then we have the Lovely Layers Fall Treats and the Lovely Layers Scaredy Cat. Look at how cute these dies are. Okay, so I am going to get started on my background. I have a piece of gray cardstock in my Misty, and I'm going to be doing some heat embossing with that really fun spider web from the Happy Halloween stamp set. So I prepped my cardstock with an anti-static powder tool. I am inking up my stamp with clear embossing ink. And I do have my heat tool on, getting nice and hot, and I'm going to sprinkle on white embossing powder. I'm going to tap the excess off, and then I'm going to use my heat tool to heat this till all of that embossing powder is melted and nice and shiny, and this is going to give us a really nice fun background that's really subtle because everything else is going to be so super colorful. So let me just turn this around and get that all nice and melted. Then on a separate piece of light gray cardstock, I am stamping the Happy Halloween sentiment from the Happy Halloween stamp set, and this time I'm going to use black embossing powder for this sentiment. So once again, sprinkling that on, heating that with my heat tool, and then later I will use the coordinating die to die cut out this sentiment. Okay, so I have already die cut everything. These are the mugs from the Mugs and Kisses dies, and I'm using this and the spoons from that die set. So I have purple cardstock, I'm ink blending with Villainous Potion. Then I have green cardstock, I am ink blending with Rustic Wilderness, and it's a little bit of a messy ink blending, and I kind of like it that way because we're going to add faces to our mugs, which is really super fun. Let me clean up my silicone mat here from my ink blending. Now I have my pumpkin, and that is from the Scaredy Cat stamp set, and I'm not going to make this a jack-o'-lantern. There is a face for this, but I'm going to use it on the mugs instead of the jack-o'-lantern. I am going to add a sentiment to this, which I think is really cute. So I'm doing a little bit of ink blending with the Crackling Campfire. Then we have this fun gummy worm from the Fall Treats. All of my candy pieces are from the Lovely Layers Fall Treats. I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending with my black soot here just to give a little bit of stripe to our fun gummy worm. And then there is some cute candy corns and some two little like candies that are in wrappers. I will do a little bit of ink blending with Hickory Smoke around our stamped and embossed background just to give that a little something extra, just very, very light around the edges. Then a little bit of that's still on my little blender tool here on the whipped cream for our mugs, because I think you can have hot chocolate at Halloween time just as much as fall and Christmas. Then we have our two little wrapped candies. I have die cut from a yellow cardstock and am ink blending with carved pumpkin. And then for my candy canes, they are not candy canes, candy corns. There's not multiple pieces. So I'm just going to use a little bit of mint tape to tape off where I don't want to ink blend. So the top of a candy corn is white, the center is orange, and the bottom is yellow. So I'm just going to tear little pieces, tape off the top part and the bottom part because I'm going to ink blend with my orange first, and then I can come back and ink blend with the yellow. So I'm just kind of crudely ripping apart my mint tape here and taping that in place. It is not going to be perfect, and I'm totally okay with it. Let me get a few more pieces here, and then we will start with carved pumpkin. and that's going to go right in the center. And they're two different sizes of candy corns, and I think I used all of them. Yeah, I did 6. I actually used all of them on my card today. So let's grab that carved pumpkin and then just quickly ink blend in that open area, which is the center. I'm going to leave the top masked off until I'm completely done, but now we can ink blend with squeezed lemonade at the bottom. And then that can just kind of go over the orange a little bit. Because it's lighter, it's not even going to make a difference. But now we have our cute candy corns. Look how darling those are. Okay, let's stamp on our pumpkin here. The sentiment says, "Got candy?" with a question mark, and that is from the Happy Halloween stamp set. I'm going to ink that up with black ink. And now we have a second sentiment. And here's that coordinating die for the sentiment that we did at the beginning of the video. I'm going to tape that in place and run that through my die cut machine. Now let's get everything put together. I did die cut the hot chocolate part of the mugs from black card or brown cardstock. I did a little bit of ink blending. You barely see this, but I still feel like it's needed. I love how that sentiment at the top kind of goes upward on the right hand side, which is totally perfect for the layout that I wanted to create. These mugs are going to be a little bit offset of each other, so that sentiment is totally perfect for this. Let's add these jack-o'-lantern faces. Now again, these are from the Lovely Layers Scaredy Cats dies that can go on that pumpkin, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to have our Christmas mugs here have these jack-o'-lantern faces. I think it's so fun. So let's get our eyes in place. We have our mouths in place. Let's get this other mug going here. And then it's all about layering. Like, how do we want our collection of Halloween candies and things like that? How do we want that to look? There are 2 spiders from the Scaredy Cats or Scaredy Cat die, and I'm going to glue on their heads. And then there is a stem to that jack-o'-lantern or the pumpkin. However you're going to make it. My glue kept clogging. I'm so sorry. Get a little bit of glue there, adhere that down, and then we can adhere our stem right onto that. I have the 2 spoons from the Mugs and Kisses dies. I die cut those from black cardstock. And then we have our candy pieces here that I'm going to glue those together really quick. And then we can get the rest of this card assembled. I'm going to add 2mm foam adhesive behind my Happy Halloween sentiment. I'm going to place that at the top. And then I can line up my mugs and everything else that goes with it. So this purple mug is going to be adhered directly to the background. The green mug will have 1mm foam adhesive behind that. And then it was so funny. When I was tucking in this spider on the mug, it kind of grossed me out. Like in real life, I thought, ooh, that's so gross if there was a spider on your mug. But on a card, it just makes sense and it's so cute. But yeah, it kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies a little bit, which I thought was really kind of funny. And then 2mm foam adhesive behind the pumpkin. I love that it has this little sentiment. I think that is so cute. I'm going to tuck a spoon over here, and then I'm going to have another one in the back, but I'm going to have to cut the spoon part off and just have the handle because I already have my foam adhesive back there. So I'm going to adhere that back there. And then we have that fun gummy worm at the bottom, and I want that to be wrapped around that green mug. So I'm going to tuck it under and on top of and kind of wrap that around the mug handle just a little bit, and I love how that turned out. So I'm going to get a little dot of liquid glue in a few places now that I have it where I want it. Then we have our candy corns. I'm going to place a few of those up in the whipped cream, and then the rest of them down around the mugs and our pumpkin. See how this is coming to life? It's so fun. I love all the different Halloween colors on this with that really light background, but then we have that fun spider web on the background, which just adds a little something extra. Let me get these last few pieces tucked in. I am going to add foam adhesive behind that spider. Let me just put these guys in place with a little bit of liquid glue. I do like to lay everything out before I glue things down, really just to make sure that I like what I'm looking at. I am such a visual person that way. I have to see it to know if I like it. And then anything that's hanging off the edge, I will trim off with some scissors. Let's add a little bit of foam adhesive for this cute spider and pop him down here. Then I'm using a white gel pen to add some highlights to all of these images. I think I did it to all of them. The candies, the mugs, the spiders, the pumpkin, the worm, everything. Just adds a little something extra. And then like I mentioned, this will be adhered to a white A2 size card base. Let me add a few more. But I love how this turned out. I think this is such a fun card. Like I said at the beginning of the video, using that Mugs and Kisses die set is quite unexpected, but look at how fun this is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I hope you feel inspired. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you guys have a really awesome day. And if you like what you've seen, please subscribe to Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel. Thanks again. Bye.